Hey, what is going on, guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the S tier champions for every single role for patch 9.13.
And then just before we get started here, guys, super excited to announce this video is going to be sponsored by Drop and Sennheiser with their new PC37X headset. So I've been using this headset for around a month now, and I can safely say this headset does hit the bullseye in terms of creating a high quality headset at an affordable price. The sound quality you get with the headset is super good. It allows you to hear very small details and feel immersed in the game you're playing. Sennheiser has been creating headsets for a very long time now, so they definitely know what they're doing when it comes to creating a headset with great sound quality. I am using the mic to record right now, so as you can tell, it is very high quality for a headset mic. The tipping point for me though with this headset is definitely how comfortable it feels on your head. They do have the soft velvet padding on the ear cuffs as well as on the top of the headset. It just feels like there's nothing on your head. You can barely even notice you're wearing a headset. It's very lightweight and it is also fully adjustable. So I highly recommend you guys do take a look at the PC37X if you're in the market for a new gaming headset. Don't just take it from me though, take it from the 28,000 other people that have bought this headset already, giving it 4.5 out of 5-star reviews. So I will have a link down in the description below that you guys can use, and there'll be a $20 perk there as well for you guys to save on the headset.
So taking a look at the top lane right now, Karma is dropping down into A tier for this patch. The change to her E in 9.13 did hurt her. It was the change I do think originally tipped her over into S tier last patch. The extra second move speed on her E just allowed her to very easily kite out certain situations. It allowed her to play very aggressively and not really get punished for it. So with that going back down to 1.5 seconds now in this patch, I no longer think she's as oppressive, and she's no longer an S tier pick for 9.13. Top lane is still going to be dominated by your bruiser tops, whether it be your AP bruiser in Mordekaiser, your AD bruisers in Riven, Darius, and Jax. All are still extremely good picks. Jax is going to be replacing Karma in the S tier. Not too sure as to why Mordekaiser did not receive a single nerf in this patch. I feel like he did, or he should have received something, at least some sort of small nerf, but because he did not get any nerfs at all, expect Mordekaiser to still be one of the best, if not the best top laners for another patch. And then for Tahm Kench, she's been a great top laner for the past couple of patches now. Very good tank top laner, has a very strong early game, which you can look to take advantage of. So if you are looking for a tank in the top lane who can still deal a ton of damage, Tahm Kench is going to be your pick. So taking a look at the jungle, pretty similar to where it was last patch, Jarvan is going to be moving up into S tier though. Jarvan didn't receive any direct buff in this patch, but he did receive a change that Riot is calling a responsiveness pass in the patch notes, to where his EQ combo, it is going to apply its effects a little bit quicker. So I'm guessing that means the knockup is going to apply quicker, which seems to actually be helping Jarvan out a ton in this patch. His win rate has gone up like a couple percent already, so Jarvan definitely a pick that you should be looking to pick up here in 9.13. For Hecarim, I'd say he's still going to be your #1 hard carry jungler. He's just a champion that can dominate the early game. If you get a lead on Hecarim, you can just consistently keep playing aggressive. You can look for aggressive invades, aggressive dive plays. This champion pretty much has everything you'd want. For Nunu, if you are lacking a tank, if you do want more of a front line, definitely pick him up. He's also a great early game jungler. Does lack a little bit of carry potential compared to someone like a Hecarim or a Jarvan, but if you can get your lanes ahead and you can allow your team to carry you and you can peel for them and provide great crowd control, then you are going to still have great success on Nunu. Elise and Evelynn, great AP junglers. The meta in the jungle right now is definitely very diverse. I like the fact that you can play AD junglers, you can also play AP junglers right now. So Elise, Evelynn, if your team's lacking AP, or if you just want to play an AP jungler, then they're very good picks for 9.13. And then Vi's been probably one of the most consistent junglers in the S tier. She's been S tier for at least a few months now. Very good jungle pick, very consistent pick, can do very well with the aftershock, allows her to be very tanky when she does hit level 6, press R on the opponent. She can do a ton of damage as well, so Vi is also a great AD jungler for 9.13. So if we take a look at the mid lane now, pretty similar to where it was last patch, there weren't any big changes in 9.13 to any mid lane champions that would really shake up the meta. Mordekaiser is going to be moving into S tier though. Mordekaiser as a champion right now is just very strong, so you can throw him in the top lane, you can throw him in the mid lane, and you're going to have success with him just because the pick is so strong. For Rumble, still a very underrated mid lane pick, very strong early game. I'd say he's probably got the strongest early game for any mid lane champion, so you can really look to abuse that, get a snowball going, and carry the game very, very hard. As for Talon and RvzStealth, best 80 mid lane champions that you can play. If you want to play a champion that can influence the map, that can solo carry by just snowballing his lanes out of control, then definitely pick up Talon for 9.13. And then for Malz and Ahri, two of your safest blind picks right now across most elos. Malzahar is a pick that, even if you don't do too well in the early game, he's one of those mid lane champions that is still going to provide his team with something. He's got great crowd control in his kit, with his ultimate, with his AoE silence, so you're always going to be useful on this pick pretty much no matter what. As for Ahri, once you do at level 6, probably the safest mid lane champion in the game, with the Glacial Augment there, and with the Twin Shadows and the GLP setup, it allows you to very easily find picks once you get those items in the mid game, allows you to transition those picks into objectives and just get a really good snowball going. Alright, so down in the bot lane, taking a look at AD carry, Tristana is going to be jumping up into S tier. So Tristana got those direct buffs. She's also great right now paired up with the most picked supports. You have Thresh, Lulu, Lux, and Nautilus as the 4 most picked supports, and pair Tristana up with a Thresh or a Nautilus. If they get at a hook in the laning phase, it's pretty much a guaranteed kill. The extra damage Tristana gets in this patch from her W is going to allow her to all in much better in those matchups, paired up with those supports. And also, if you pair up with the Lulu or the Lux, you can still have a great laning phase too, and you're going to scale extremely good into the mid to late game. Now for Sivir and Xayah, they did receive indirect and Sivir received direct nerfs. However, they weren't enough to drop the champions out of S tier. The Essence Reaver changes do hurt them a bit, but Xayah is still holding on to S tier. Sivir is still pretty handedly holding on to S tier. The nerfs really didn't affect her too much. She was sitting at undoubtedly the strongest AD carry for 9.12, and in this patch now, she's no longer the #1 standalone best AD carry, but she still is strong enough to remain S tier. Now for the Caitlyn pick, she's doing really good with this new build setup of Infinity Edge into Essence Reaver as your core items. This build setup on Caitlyn, you do lack a little bit of DPS, a little bit of attack speed for mid-game team fights, but you burst extremely hard. Your Q does a ton of damage, your ultimate does a ton of damage. If the enemy does step on a trap, your headshots are gonna hurt very, very hard. So definitely try out this build setup on Caitlyn. It is a build that you probably have to get a little bit used to because you're not gonna have as much attack speed, but you're definitely going to notice that you're going to be able to burst a lot harder with this setup. And then as for Kai'Sa and Jinx, not too much to say about them here. Nothing really changed in this patch that would make them stronger or weaker, so they are just going to remain as strong as they were in last patch. They're still very good AD carry picks to climb with in solo queue. Last but definitely not least, to round out the video for support, a few different changes. So we do have both Sona and Karma dropping out of S tier. Karma is dropping out down in the support role, similar to why she dropped out in the top lane. The change to her E last patch was the change that did propel her up into S tier, so because they're reverting that back, she is now going to drop down into A tier. She's still better than she was before 9.12, but she's no longer as oppressive and a very good S tier pick. Now as for the Sona pick, she also did get nerfed. I was on the edge as to whether or not she would drop out of S tier, but it looks like the changes have just pushed her over, and she is now down into A tier for 9.13. Replacing those champions in the S tier is going to be Thresh and Lulu. So remember, Lulu did receive buffs back in 9.12, and originally they just weren't enough to jump her up into S tier, but because these champions like the Sona and the Karma have been nerfed in this patch, Lulu does now take their spot in S tier, and she is going to be one of your better heal shield supports now for 9.13. As for the Thresh pick, he is also going to be replacing either Karma or Sona. Thresh and Nautilus right now are going to be your strongest aggro supports that you can play, strong early game supports. You can look to take advantage of these squishy supports being played down in the bot lane if you can land a hook in the laning phase. If you can get a hook off on a Nami, a Lulu in the early game, the first few levels there, then you can definitely look to burst them out. If you can't play aggro the first few levels though, and you let them scale into the mid to late game, then a Lulu mid to late game or a Janna mid to late game game is definitely going to be much better than a Thresh or a Nautilus most of the time. So you do have to make sure if you're playing the Thresh or the Nautilus that you are able to land your hooks in the laning phase and you are able to take advantage of your strong laning phase. For Lux, for Janna, and Nami, no changes they got here, or they didn't get any changes at all, so they're not going to be jumping up or dropping down. I would say that Lux right now is going to be arguably your strongest support that you can play overall. I would definitely recommend adding Lux to your champion pool if you haven't already. She's pretty much got everything that you'd want for a good support pick in solo queue. She's got great pick potential, good poke in the laning phase, really good level 6 all in, good burst at level 6. With the aftershock, she's tanky, you can't really burst her out in the laning phase. She also does have AoE shield, so she has pretty much everything that you would want for a strong support pick, and I would definitely recommend picking her up. So that is going to be all for this video, guys. Those are going to be the strongest champions for every single role for 9.13. And so if you guys did enjoy this video, then be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have yet to already. So thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.